What's up, everyone? Metro here. Today I'm excited to share my impressions and gameplay feedback on Rise of the Village Hero, a promising indie RPG developed by a single developer over at Ludus Pax Studios, who is actively patching and updating the game. I've already sunk about 10 hours into the game, and I'm looking forward to sharing my thoughts on the game's strengths and weaknesses. Since it's still in early access, I won't be giving it a final review just yet. I want to give the developer the chance to fully realize their vision before forming a definitive opinion on it. So I will be showing some gameplay of the beginning dungeon and the beginning town, and pointing out its weaknesses, what I think could be improved upon, and what I like about the game. So we're going to create a new game. This is just the name of your save file. It could be anything. And, you know, some loading. It's fast, almost immediately you're tossed in. The graphics are kind of nice. I actually really like the graphics. They're polygonal, they're blocky. They're very reminiscent of classic RuneScape. I'm pretty sure most of you have played RuneScape. Um, it's stylistic, it creates its own style, it has a nice visual to it. It helps the game stand out from other games. This is Ricker. As a beginning player, you actually want to talk to Ricker. I will skip his dialogue though. He basically tells you about Sir Artor, who is fleeing behind one of the castle walls. And the orcs who have invaded the town. He tells you about your health, your stamina, your attribute points, and the items that you need to pick up. So we're going to go over the attributes. One immediate issue I have with the character stats is that the EXP doesn't tell you how much EXP you need to level up. If my EXP is 730, that doesn't really matter to me at all unless I know when I'm going to level up. It creates a sense of excitement if you know when you're going to level up. So for example, the first level is actually 2000, your first level up. If I know that's my first level up, I'll be excited to have 1600 experience points because it creates a visible, objective that I have to hit that level up. So I think that should be improved upon. Your stats are pretty simple. You want to ignore charisma completely. In my experience with the 10 hours I've had with the game, this does nothing for you. There'll be plenty of items that you'll find by exploring that will get you money, even duplicates of items. And you just really don't need to spend any points in charisma. You want to follow the first 4 points. Strength increases your damage and your weapon requirements. So, for example, there's a sword that requires 5 strength. I cannot equip that sword with 3 strength. So it's not just a damage modifier. It's not just a damage modifier, but it'll help me equip more powerful weapons. So we want to put 2 points into strength. Dexterity improves your defense, though I'm not entirely sure what cunning does. As we have established on this channel, I am a complete moron because dexterity improves your defense already. What does enhances your defense mean? I don't know. I kind of want more clarification on that because I'm assuming this is an armor rating, but I'm not sure. Willpower boosts your health and stamina and increases your stamina generation. So we're going to put 1 point into willpower. Your stats are pretty easy, pretty simple to understand. Just level up these 4 attributes. You really don't need much more than that. Charisma is just a dump stat. Don't even bother with it. We're going to confirm our allocation. Looting, I feel like the items need to stand out a bit more. Now you're going to say, how much more can they stand out? Later on, when you're playing the game from an isometric point of view, because a lot of the times it's kind of easier to play the game that way, you miss items, and I picked up items I didn't even know I had picked up. I just heard a sound, and then I realized I'd gotten an item. So I think like a white text box should be above these items, and let's say it'll say it's a rusty shield or a rusty sword, and I think that would create a bit of extra of you know, visual appeal when you're looting as well. Not just visual appeal, but extra excitement from the player. Like, oh, what's that sword on the floor? It says Sword of Chaos. I have to see what it does. The inventory is manageable. It's very easy. It's very clean. It tells you everything, what everything does, like damage 9, bonus attack, no requirements. There's no strength requirements, so you could just equip it at whatever strength. Chasm, you know, it's 2+ armor. The quick slot works nice. Combat's pretty simple in this game, but it's pretty fun. We'll have some combat soon. Let's go to this area. There is no map in this game. No map. But most areas are pretty small like this one, and they are easily distinguishable from other areas. I never felt like without a map in this game that I was just overwhelmingly lost. I feel like most areas are small enough and noticeable where you're like, okay, well, I was just here. I can go back. And honestly, I think the purpose of that is to you know, increase your desire to explore, because exploring is part of the gameplay loop. I feel like in this game, and I'll explain that in a minute. Warthag, the peacekeeper. Hey, you, go away. We're going to initiate combat. Shut up and put your sword up. All right, so we're gonna attack. There is no dice combat. Every time it's 20 damage. And whatever your weapon may be at the time, say it'll do 60 damage or 70 damage or 100 damage, it'll always be that consistent damage output. And it won't be anything else. So if you don't like dice rolling, you just want consistent damage, and that's a positive. I actually do like dice rolls, but it doesn't bother me either or. So one issue I have with combat immediately, I'm going to attack these 3 orcs, is how the potions are used. So as you can see, I'm getting hit. I want to use a potion. And you're going to see here, when I use the potion, he stops attacking. It may not be that big of a deal because you're like, oh, well, you're still getting the majority of your health back. Later on, when enemies do 100 damage, 60 damage, and there's like 2 of them, and you're trying to attack while drinking your potions, it creates an imbalance. Because you're just dumping down potions down your gullet, and he's stopping to attack. Meanwhile, they're getting free attacks. So it creates somewhat of a balancing issue. I think the developer should fix that. I think you should be able to drink potions while you're attacking. If his intent is not to drink potions while attacking, then he should add a drinking animation. But it feels like the game is supposed to, you know, drink a potion and attack. It feels very Diablo-esque, so I think it's something you should to work on. Other than that, I don't really have that many issues with the combat. The combat can be fun even though it's simplistic, is because, as I mentioned before, the gameplay loop, you're out here exploring for pieces of armor, weapons, and so forth, and those things kind of make certain scenarios that were difficult before manageable, or if not manageable, just far easier. And it makes you realize, well, I should really start exploring more, because as you see right here, just from this corner, this little corner over here, there's a sword, and it's a sword that's better than the sword I have equipped. It's a quick blade, 13 damage. It has bonus 1+% attack damage, and so forth. So as you can see, automatically I'm rewarded for exploring. So I do like that. The game rewards you for exploring, whether it be armor pieces, potions, equipment, anything. Also, you will find side quests while exploring, and these side quests are also rewards on themselves. Not that they're amazing, you know, side quests. They're pretty short and pretty standard, but they in themselves give you a reward, so it kind of adds to that gameplay loop. It's simple but satisfying. So let's get these items. Let's drink some stamina potions, because as I stated, you can't heal without, you know, I mean, not heal, but you can't attack without stamina. So we're just going to clear out these orcs. Hopefully we'll level up. One small thing I hope the author does do is when you get armor pieces. The game doesn't allow that. Well, it doesn't do that. But if you equip armor pieces, you can see his appearance doesn't change. The weapons change, and so does the shield, but not the character himself. I, let's start healing because we're about to die, and we don't want to die in the middle of talking. So let's save. I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know if this is accurate. I think the game is supposed to have permanent death, but I don't think that's true because I was able to load a character who had died. So I don't think that's entirely accurate. Either way, if they do decide to add permanent death or not, I don't mind. I actually like hard difficulty, but either or, this game offers a lot of potions a ton of the time, and really, it doesn't really feel like you're going to die really that often. Okay, actually we're getting attacked here. So this is a quest giver. Some quests won't send you out to explore, as I stated before. Go and grab all the stuff at the back and let's take it away. Merchant's helper. Okay, who's that? This is one issue I have with dialogue. It should be made obvious when you're going to attack. So my intent anyway was to kill this goblin, but because he's taking items and I thought that perhaps he was, being bad. But if you don't want to attack him, then you choose the second option. So I think that the developer should put something here that says attack, make it a little bit more obvious to the player what he's intending to do. Hello, what are you doing? Scavenging for the great goblin merchant conglomerate. Now move along. You mean that stuff you stole from our houses? Whoa, borrowed, with the purpose of getting rich. A smirk emerges from the goblin's horribly bent teeth. Here, let's make a deal. Bring me one of those rusty swords with inscriptions and gems, and I will give you all your stuff. How does that sound? Okay, fine. Okay, be on your way. So, most quest givers, like I said, they send you out to explore. We already have the rusty sword, and we'll give it to him. Merchant's helper, okay, who's that? I got the rusty sword. Small spoiler alert, very small spoiler alert. He is actually the cousin of a goblin merchant in a dungeon, and if you kill him, you're missing out on a lot of great items. My first character made that horrible mistake, and it made the dungeon a lot more complicated. So I actually like that there's a small layer of depth, like some characters will actually have family members, and if you don't help them, they will hate you and not help you in any sort of way and refuse to sell to you. I actually like that. It's it's small things like that that I always appreciate. I don't know how often that happens, but it happened twice because there's a character over here who has a father that you need to rescue. There's a quest journal here. And it's pretty simple. However, I think the developer could make it a bit more obvious. Maybe I'm not that perceptive, but my first hour of gameplay, I didn't even realize there was a quest journal. I think there should be a red marker here that shows you completed a quest or anything, or maybe even an audio cue. So let's talk to Sir Arthur. Everyone be on your guard. The man stares at you before starting to talk. Hello, guy. I was not expecting you to see you here. Hi, Sir Arthur. What in the world has happened here? I have no idea. One moment we were going about on our business, and the next we were attacked by these horrible monsters. Okay, so what do we do now? Want to help? When I went to the church, I heard a lot of noises, so whatever was happening came from there. The story in this game is pretty simple. You're just trying to take the orcs from your village. But obviously, since it's a role-playing game, it gets a little bit more complicated, and then you start going into other parts of the world, discovering things, dungeons, interacting with other races. It's not just humans in this game, so you will meet dwarves and such, as an example. The blacksmith shop is actually the most friendly UI I've seen in this game so far. It tells you what the weapons do, what they sell for. You can switch to selling. The only thing I think it needs is just a bit more flair. like add an outline to this so it's like it feels like it's actually like a screen or something. You know, make it a bit more flashy to the player. Let's I don't how much are well, let me check. Well, he's about to level up. And I think yeah, we just need to go over here and kill these orcs. And then we can go into the dungeon. I want to show a little bit of the dungeon. The dungeon layout, again, even it's not that complicated. This game overall is pretty simple. Even without the map, trust me, you're not going to get lost. You're going to find your way around of everything. Sometimes that's a level up. The red tornado. I have a criticism about the level up. I think it needs an audio cue, something to make it stand out to say, I leveled up. Because the first time I leveled up, I was fighting a spellcaster, and I just assumed a spell was cast on me, and I didn't realize until like half an hour later that I'd actually had leveled up. Most role-playing games have a audio cue when you level up. So I think that's something that should be added to the game. It's a small criticism. The game has a lot of potential, it just needs to be a bit more polished. Let's get that gold. Let's kill this monster over here. 29, alright, that's not bad. And let's level up so we can use a better weapon. I want to put a point into strength, willpower, and then into dexterity. Because I don't know what cunning does, but I will put points into it. And now we can equip the Grieving Blade. Perfect. You get a lot of duplicate items in this game, so you kind of don't have to worry about any sort of, you know, falling back on gold. And that's what I meant earlier, that charisma is kind of a useless stat. In front of an old farmer, scared but proud, is defending his farm with a farming fork. Get away, you crazy fiend. Listen, sir, I appreciate this is your home and you may not wish to leave, but there is anything I could do to make you reconsider? Listen, son, nothing you could say would make me leave my home. Look, sir, we're surrounded by enemies, orcs, and monsters. Could you please reconsider? There is a keep still manned by a few knights. Your assistance could help protect the civilians. I suppose my house will be fine. You are right. I will assist the civilians and endeavor to be of use to the knights. I served in the army before. Thank you, young man. But before I leave, please bring me some wood so I can barricade my house. Then I will go. In front of... Alright, so we're going to give him the wood because we already found it. It was back over there at that castle wall. Thank you. I shall barricade and be on my way to help the keep. Some enemies have dialogue. I don't know if there is any difference. Like, maybe there's a way you can prevent a fight with them. I'm not entirely sure. But because I was just always choosing the option that seemed the most hostile. I don't know if there's, you know, enemies that will give you a bit more information if you're just a bit more friendlier. Like, for example, this is a pretty simple dialogue. Stay alert, protect churchy building cave. I found you shall pay for what you did to my town. But there are, like, later enemies who have multiple dialogue boxes, and I don't know if they really do anything. No, you will pay, human. You angered him. So actually, what we want to do is take care of the spellcaster, because they're kind of really threatening in this game. And here we go again with the potions. I just have to dump it and use it as fast as I can. That's the most annoying thing about combat. If he fixes that, that small improvement will... If the developer fixes that, you know, that small improvement will just really help with the overall feel of the combat. I don't know if there will be special abilities in the game because, you know, as I said, there's certain things that merchants sell that say abilities, as you saw, but since this is early access, I don't know if that's something planned later on. But I didn't see specials or abilities. Maybe they're enchanted items that grant abilities, I don't know. Not welcome here. Boss says take your head off. Let me go through. I could... Shut up, you orc. Let's just attack him. Because he actually does not let you through. And then down there's the dungeon. He is causing some significant damage. But he's not too difficult. Let's save, just in case we die. Let's see if we have anything that could be of use. Well, just healing potions and stamina potions. And we're gonna heal. So I want to show a little bit of the dungeon. The dungeon actually has a nice layout. Um, it's simple, it's dark, it has a nice color scheme. It's not overly labyrinthian, which is good because there's no map. And this is an example of what I mean. You're just never going to get lost in this game. I don't know how you could. Some of the dialogue is quite funny, like this goblin here, and I like the humor in this game. A lot of the time, humor annoys me in games, but I thought it was kind of funny in here. Goblin tries to act scary, screaming, "Beware of Timmy, the great goblin destroyer. You don't sound very convincing, mate." Great. Well, not everyone is the best at being scary. Some of us know some juicy information. Yeah, but you should also know how to be scary. You're a goblin, really. Oh, you're really upsetting me now. Okay, I'm sorry. What did you say about that juicy info? Oh, yeah, our orc shaman has left a juicy journal around here somewhere. I wouldn't know how to read it, even if I did. I will translate it for you. See, I'm a useful goblin. So it's actually quite simple to find those. Also, this is a quest here. Talk to the daughter of this skeleton before you come to this dungeon, and he will give you a reward. He'll then, you're granting him the peace that he's letting his daughter know that he passed. If you didn't talk to the daughter beforehand, that skeleton will just tell you to leave him alone and that he's miserable. So remember to talk to everybody before you head to another area in the game. I want to show you the goblin merchant that I talked about before. We're actually getting close to him. Yeah, she can take a hit, can't she? Yeah, I might die here. Okay, no, I got it. And then after this, after I show you how to get the journal, I'm going to form my final opinions. Again, this game is early access, so I'm not going to be overly critical. It definitely feels like early access at times. There are things that could use some polishing, which I will point out. Like I mentioned, the items, that little quirk in combat, and so forth. Let's attack because the spellcaster can't hit me from the barricaded wall. And they do deal quite a bit of damage, the spellcasters. Like that, and 30, look at that. Yeah, my character's already falling down. Do we have any more health potions? We don't. We do have Dark Heart, though, and I think that's better than the Grieving Blade. Oh no, it's actually quite the same. But this shield, and there we go, the shield has a new look. I want that to be done with armor. I think it will definitely create a different look. And that'll definitely help feel like you're progressing as well. I might die here, which in this case, I just want to not die here, but it might happen anyway. Yeah, I might die here. So I think what I'm going to do is retreat, and I'm going to form my final opinions. There's a goblin merchant up there who sells quite a bit of juicy items that you could buy from him. And if you kill this cousin, he won't sell to you at all. He'll actually scream at you to get out of his face. He doesn't fight you, but he does tell you that, your shop is closed to you and that he thinks you're crazy. There's also another goblin journal. Everything is easy to find in this dungeon. It's not very complicated. There probably is health potions around. There's always health potions around. If not, you should be able to buy them. But I want to start forming my final thoughts on the game. I think, honestly, the game has potential. I do think the game has potential because during my 10 hours of the game, I was never really bored. I didn't really get bored at all. There is a nice gameplay loop. Exploration, it offers, rewarding items. It could be something big or small, a piece of armor, a weapon, a certain area that we were dying at, is now suddenly easier, so it kind of forces you to explore. And if you died, It makes you learn from your previous death. That exploring is key. The combat, it's simple, but it's fun. I just think that, that potion thing is a bit annoying, and it is a bit unbalanced, and I think it should be fixed. Um, and, side quests just force you to explore. They're not amazing side quests that spiral off into different stories, but they do force you to explore. And even if it's a stupid item, it might lead you to an item that you actually needed. So I feel like the side quests are actually part of the gameplay loop, and they help you discover things and help areas be more manageable. I never felt at any point in the game that things were just overwhelming. I never felt overwhelmed. The enemies always stayed pretty balanced. Um, if I was getting overwhelmed with an enemy, I just had plenty of potions. There's a lot of potion drops in this game. There's a lot of merchants who sell potions. I think let's talk to him. And there's a lot of enemies, not enemies, a lot of merchants who sell potions and so forth. So you're never going to be desperate for a potion. Not that I've experienced. I was never desperate for a potion. Another thing I like about the game is, again, I do like the graphics. They're very, very distinct. They stand out from other indie games. Um, the game is balanced, and I do like the small layer of depth that there's several quests that resolves around family members, and they might not talk to you, or they will talk to you based on what you did. It's a simple RPG. Just explore, get items, and kill what needs to be killed. I do think there could be some improvement when you kill an enemy. For example, I don't think it needs to be gory because it kind of has like a fairy tale childish charm. Um, and the humor is kind of funny. There's a quest later with an undead couple that were just bickering, and I thought it kind of made me chuckle. Um, I think when you kill an enemy, it should tell you how much XP you got from that enemy, and so forth. I also believe that items should be more distinguishable when you pick them up because, it makes loot more exciting and visually, you know, out there. Like, again, like, oh man, a sword of chaos, that sort of thing. Um, I also think this is a small nitpick. When you confirm your stat allocations, this should just be closed, and I do think there needs to be more audible cues in this game. This game does not have enough audible cues. It misses it in a lot of areas. When a quest is completed, when you level up, when you equip an item, all of these are things that need audible cues, in my opinion. Um, so those are the main issues I have with this game. Really, I didn't really experience that many glitches. The biggest glitch I experienced was Ricker in the beginning of the game. If you speak to him, but you already had picked up the items, he starts basically he doesn't start doing anything, but your weapons and armor disappear. And it was just kind of a weird glitch that happened 4 times in a row, and I kept testing it. It happened around 4 or 5 times in a row until eventually it just didn't happen, and then it just didn't happen again and again. So it just seems kind of random, that glitch. And also, if my other character is level 8, he's at a dwarven cave. I was stuck talking to a necromancer, and I couldn't exit the dialogue. And I don't know what was causing that. I think it's because I didn't kill all the undead. I snuck around a few, but I don't know if that's a glitch, but it definitely should be fixed, or it should be made clear that I have to clear out those undead. Um, so yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier when you're starting this game. Please do not kill that goblin in the beginning of the town, because look at everything he has. This makes this dungeon a lot easier. Honestly, I didn't explore as much as I did, but you can kind of easily make this money back. And honestly, I think I have enough weapons to sell and make the money back. Yeah, I actually do. So that's my feedback on the game. Um, I think everything was balanced. I think there is a nice but simple gameplay loop. It's a simple RPG, and I think that's the point. Um, but there are some combat issues, primarily the potions. There are some user interface issues, the questing, so forth, the items. And, my biggest issue is that there's lacking a lot of audio. Um, I don't want to criticize anything that's not intended yet. For example, I don't know if there's supposed to be special abilities for combat. So far, combat's just click and attack. Um, I would like to see special abilities, but I don't think this game should turn into a Diablo clone. I think the developer should go where he wants to go with this game. It's just the game just lacks polish in those kind of simple things, but it does have potential. I don't have a score on this game as of yet, um, because, like I said, it's early access, and I don't like giving early access scores because the game's not finished. Um, the game is not abandoned, and you constantly see updates and patches for the game and so forth. There's this little area here. There's a treasure chest, and that leads to the next area of the dungeon. It's pretty easy to navigate. It's not hard at all. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Um, I hope the developer, that guy has a quest, continues with the development of this game. I want to see where it goes. I had quite a bit of fun with it. It's very simple, but that doesn't diminish the game. It just needs to be heavily polished. It just needs oven time. And I leveled up again. But anyway, thanks for watching. I know I haven't updated for a while, but I've been kind of busy, and I'm gonna die. I've been kind of busy with work and so forth, and I apologize for not, uploading for it's almost been 10 days now. But yeah, anyway, check this game out. It's on Steam. Also, check the developer's page out on YouTube. It's called Ludus Pack Studios, and he constantly updates and shows footage on this game. I want to thank you for watching, and everybody take care and have a good time. I will probably cover this game again in the future, when the game gets updated. But until I see you again.